In this video, I'm revealing the exact product sourcing process that I used to go from selling $0 on Amazon to now selling over $5 million on the platform. And this is honestly the biggest reason why most new Amazon sellers start and fail and end up losing money. It's because they don't understand the simple basics of product research that you're going to understand after you watch this video. Especially for this video where I'm showing you the fastest way to find your first or next profitable product, I'm also going to be limiting myself to being able to only source brands that are either auto-ungated or easy to ungate even if you're a brand new Amazon seller. In other words, the products that I'm going to show you step by step how to source today, anyone can sell. And the way that we can find these products that anyone can sell and source the next products quickly is by going to a listing that's going to be auto-ungated for new sellers. So Athletic Works is an example that I like to use. You can also use the brands that other successful sellers who are already selling this brand have identified as an auto-ungate. And I'll also leave a link down below. There's a free spreadsheet of over 1,800 brands that you can test out and see what your store is specifically auto-ungated to sell. Because the fastest way to start making money on Amazon is to not even have to worry about the ungating process and just to find these profitable name brand products that are ready for you to buy and sell right now. And in order to source and sell these name brand products, you need a couple tools, less than $100 a month in software cost to get started selling on Amazon. And the first and probably the most important for finding products is called SellerAmp. And the reason why this is so important is it's going to allow us to find these next profitable items by looking at the opportunities that these sellers have already identified. We know they're selling an auto-ungated brand, so they're probably newer to the game and they're going to have some other auto-ungated brand ideas for you to test out in your store, right? So the first thing I like to do is open up these storefronts and get a feel for what categories these sellers are on, what brands they're on. And for the first couple products, I'm going to limit myself to brands that I know are purely auto-ungated for every new seller. And in this case, I don't know for certain if your account is going to be able to get auto-ungated in any of those brands. This other seller is selling some brands that I know are super safe for new sellers that'll be auto-ungated. All of these brands should be safe for you to sell, but you might have to submit an invoice to get approved for those brands. So I want to start super simple. If I was starting all over on Amazon, I would just zero in on brands like Cuddle Duds, for example. Start punching in some of those brands on your account and see what's already approved, because that's going to be by far the simplest place to start, is looking at those opportunities that are already available to you and then just simply selling those while you're waiting for the approvals on some of the bigger, more popular brands. So we can go ahead and start opening up some of these here. What I like to do at first is just get a feel for what this type of product costs, basically. So in this case, I can see I can get this from Kohl's for $15.20. Let's see, Climate Right. So I think that's actually different on those. So this is like the actual turtleneck. Seems like the non-turtlenecks are like $7 or so, but this is the turtleneck option here. So you can see I can get these at Kohl's for $15.50, and this is auto-ungate, right? I'm going to punch in $15.20 right there. So without any coupons, discounted gift cards, any kind of way to create margin, this one isn't super interesting. What I am interested in doing is using the next product research tool that you'll want, which is called Keepa. These together are about $40 a month, and that's all I use for product sourcing for my $2+ million a year Amazon business. There's lots of complicated stuff out there, but keeping it simple is usually the best way to go, basically. And the reason I'm going to use this is I want to see, in this case, I see Kohl's has the charcoal heather right there. So I can take all those away, and then I'll just specifically filter in to the ones that are called charcoal. And in this case, I can see the extra large is $38. It's gaining some ratings as well, so we know that this variation is actually selling. And yeah, so we're gonna be able to sell this like 1XL for $38 right there. We're buying it for $15.20. And there's like a quick example of an auto-ungated lead that we're able to find nice and profitable, basically. Let's see if we can find any other of these Cuddle Duds specifically here. If not, no worries. We'll keep chugging on to the next auto-ungated brands and stuff here. I do see, so some of the like plus size on some of the like white options here might be out of stock. Maybe an item that was going out of season, which might be why that we found that first one on sale. And I'm not seeing too much else that's super interesting here. Another brand you can be on the lookout for is Stafford. That is an auto-ungate. We can just quickly check and see if this one's interesting, because as we're looking through these storefronts, by the way, I'm also able to see the max cost. So basically, if I can buy it for this price or less, then basically I'm making some money. In this case, I'm seeing it pop up at like $19. We need to buy it for $11. So probably not too much profit to be made there. With these listings that are variations though, I like to check and see if any of the other sizes are like a lot more expensive. In this case, they are, but they're not significantly more expensive. So this is like $30 in an extra large. That's not going to be quite interesting. A good rule of thumb is if I can buy it for about half of what I want to sell it for, typically going to make some profit on that. So in this case, I'm not quite at that rule of halves right there, kind of how I like to look at it. So now let's just head back into the storefront here and we can see what other product ideas these sellers have, basically. So we started from like some of these pants right here, and I know I've looked at these before, but it seems like they're just staying profitable. You can see these are basically $11 right there, $10 right there for a bunch of different sizes and stuff. And our max cost on this is $11.51. This would be nice and profitable. We can see if this specific size is in stock. But yeah, I've seen these before that are profitable. That's why I like to use this as a starting point. We can see lots of these are profitable basically. Because if we go to black right here, here. Let's see, small, medium, XL, like basically all the different sizes are in stock. So small is $25.75 right there. We are buying that for $11. So it's like really close. So we just need something a little bit higher in price, which in this case, it might actually be, do we have the 3XL in stock today? Yeah, there's the 3XL on these, $11. Actually, the item we started from, which is funny. But yeah, so $4 in profit. So there's like another example of an auto-ungated profitable product. We don't have to limit ourselves to auto-ungated products though. That's just like the best way to make that first sale. But then as you grow, you want to be selling brands that are gated, right? If you go and try to list these products, so when you go and try and list these products on Seller Central or Boxom, you're going to probably see, like I'm using like Milwaukee as an example of a brand that I'm not ungated to sell. If I try to sell in a new condition, it's going to say, hey, you need to apply to sell this. I can request approval right here, but then I'll basically just need to submit an invoice for at least 10 units from basically a legitimate retailer. In our case, buying from Kohl's is a very legitimate retailer. Walmart is a very legitimate retailer. Amazon's basically just wanting to confirm that you're buying from places that are legitimate sources for inventory, so they don't have a bunch of fake stuff listed on the platform. And so we can also take a look at some of these other brands that while you're sourcing those auto-ungated brands, you can start digging up some profit in these brands that you got to submit an invoice for basically. Let's see if we can find anything on this as well, right? Digging in here, I'm always just interested in what do I think I can buy for around that max cost option. And these pants kind of stick out to me. I think they might be, yeah, it says right there, those are just boys sweatpants. So there's a good chance we might be able to get those cheaply. I might also see if we can search specifically and have camo in the title. Let's see, kids 4 through 12. I'm going to pop this one open here too. Let's see some of these. So we do have some of these like baby Gap pants. Let's see, what sizes are these? These are like proper kids pants. But we can also do, once we're on some like interesting ideas, the reason like this is interesting to me because we are finding these for $10, and this over here, if we can get these for $10, they would be profitable. So what I can do now is I can press the SellerAmp Chrome extension, and then that is going to automatically search this title for me. And I'm basically going to be able to quickly check and see if any of these listings have like what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at charcoal gray and like the regular gray. So I can see here's light heather, charcoal heather. So probably this light heather matches our listing right there. The Gap, make sure it all looks the same. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, it's even the same picture if you look at the ties and stuff. Let's see, what was this selling for last time it sold? So Amazon's typically the only person selling this, and they sell it for like $10 or so. So I want to check and see, hey, on this color right here, go to variations, and I want to see if any of these are in stock. What are they selling for? Seems like the most expensive one on this listing is $20 or so, because I have the variations view filtered by new price making its way down. So you can see, for example, the most expensive of this like light gray we're looking at was, let's see, 1812 or 1815, and that is 3 to 6 months. That one's out of stock. Let's see, charcoal gray, all we have is 0 to 3 months. I can definitely check. So actually, yeah, here's 0 to 3 months right there. That is the 1934, buying for, I think it was $9. And then we might actually be able to make this product profitable. So always think of ways to add some extra bonus margin to your business. So in this case, I can buy discounted money essentially. So I can go in here and buy discounted gift cards for Gap. So things like today, the best rate I can get is 17%, 15%, that kind of thing. So I can go in here and I can buy basically $100 worth of a gift card. Let's check out Card Depot. Usually I have some success with them. Let's see. Yeah, so 15% off, we'd have to buy $50 gift cards, or we can get 13% off buying $200 at a time, and all we pay is $174. So immediately get some bonus money here. We can do minus 13% very comfortably. And yeah, so I'm actually like 1 penny short where my ideal profit standards usually sit. So I'll probably go ahead and grab some of these. So there's like a quick example, right? These charcoal gray selling for $19.34. There's an example of Gap. So if you're gated in Gap, you just buy 10 units from the website and submit that as your invoice. Let's see, I'm seeing a lot of these for $12 or so. The muscle you need to develop as an Amazon seller is figuring out like when a product price seems reasonable to get it at that point and when it doesn't. In this case, like a $12.50 hoodie would be a pretty good deal. So let's see, what other brands is this on? They're on some Tommy Hilfiger or something like that. So basically, if I can get these underwear for $21, then I'm going to be profitable. That seems pretty reasonable to me. So let's dig in and see. So initial retail price is showing up at $25. We'll be able to see if we can get any discounts. Yeah, so we can. So a lot of websites have a free membership type program you can join. Like they have like the Hilfiger Club. So this is free to join. We can get 25% off. A lot of good amount of profitable inventory using that. And that definitely makes this more interesting because I believe that will get us down to a profitable price point. Seems like this is selling anywhere from, you can see right now it's $36. The FBA delivery option that gets there faster is at like 40. Let's see. So 25, I think, what was it? 25.50? Yeah, 25.50. And then we're getting 25% off with our coupon right there. So at current price, this is a $4.73 profit. Looks like this is usually more expensive too. You can see the buy box usually sits around like $45 or so. Even right now, it's at $40 in some parts of the country, what that's telling me. So worst case scenario, I'll sell it at like today's $36.10, where I still make $5. Best case scenario, I wouldn't even call it best case. I'd call it pretty pretty reasonable. We sell it at 40, and then our best case is we go up to 44 bucks, and that's very profitable. So I'd definitely go ahead and pick up some of those right there. Let's see what other sizes are nice and profitable. As I'm looking through here, I'm also checking and seeing which of these items had a price that hung out a little bit higher. So you can see this, like the buy box has pretty consistently been $50 ish, 45 bucks there for a little bit, something like that. Let's see, do they have that one as well? Yeah, all white. Make sure pictures look the same. Yeah, it looks the same to me. So yeah, this is another extra large right there, which is in stock as well. This right here today is a 44.58 item, so that's another good item. So yeah, you'd have no problem kind of buying this and getting ungated, that kind of thing. You just submit the invoice for these profitably. Yeah, that's definitely pretty interesting. So there's probably some other sizes and that kind of stuff we can dig through profitably here. We could also check and see if we can make this even more profitable buying with a discounted gift card. Seems like, yeah, only 1.4%. I don't really want to mess with entering in discounted gift card numbers and that kind of thing for 1.4. Oh, this is also physical. If you're wondering like how that actually delivers, you'll usually get them emailed to you pretty much right away, and then you just plug them in at check-in. In this case, it seems like it is like an actual physical gift card. So I don't want to mess with waiting for stuff to show up in the mail for an extra 1% in margin savings there. So that's definitely very interesting there. And once you find one profitable product, you have an infinite supply of leads. So we can go to the first auto-ungated brand we found, because we've been looking at some stuff that you basically have to submit an application for, and then we can just quickly check and see of these sellers that are on here, which ones might have some products that we're interested in, basically. So I can see this person, they have one review, so they're a pretty new Amazon seller. So basically all the opportunities that this person has access to, you pretty much should as well. So we can see here's like a 3-pack of boxers here. This might actually be profitable. See, max cost of 20 bucks right there. And again, we can just use the invoice from wherever we're buying from to get these ungated here. So 37 bucks, buying them for 20. And yeah, so in that case, if we're buying these for 20 right now, we're selling them for 37 bucks. I do see the price hops up pretty often at 39, and you'll see this pretty often on listings where it does it constantly. There's tons of people making sales at 39, and then a lot of people making sales at 37. In this case, this listing is being sold by FBM and FBA sellers, so people who are shipping directly to the warehouse. Usually you could charge a little bit of a price premium for the luxury of having that prime 2-day shipping and Amazon's customer service. Here in a second, I'll show you how to get these products eligible for FBA and actually get these items sold as well, not just finding them. But on this, I would probably grab some of these too, to be honest. List them at 39 bucks. Seems like FBA sellers are having success here, and we might even also be able to boost our margins here, which in this case, it does look like, again, I think I saw 10% there. Never really heard of that website before, so I might stick with something I've personally used, especially just for the video here. And let's see, yeah, so in this case, I can save like 4% if I get a discounted gift card here. That one's taking a second to load, but saying 7, we can just conservative estimate like 6% if any of those cards are weird or anything like that. So we can just round down to 5, so that saves us $1 basically. And that makes it pretty solid, right? So we're actually getting a little over $7 in profit on that. Let's see, there's also like some shorts here. I'm really just talking out the sourcing process and finding some decent stuff here. Let's see, so these are maybe at Belk, and then there's a golf apparel shop. Let's see, so I definitely bought some stuff from Belk before. Lots of different options, so khaki, medium gray, that kind of thing. Seems like this, so this website has white. We might also be able to get an extra 20%. We can keep that in mind if we need that 20% here. And I also want to go ahead and pop open the source listing here, because I'm seeing these at like 20 bucks. Our max cost is $18.67. Even if this size isn't profitable, we're going to be pretty close on some other ones, if not just straight up profitable. Let's see, like I came from Quiet Shade, I believe is what we're looking at. Yeah, so the 40s. So they have the 32s in stock on this website here. I don't think that's going to be profitable though, because the price is a little bit lower. Yeah, it's 32 bucks right there. Let's see, let's go to variations and check out what's expensive. So Silver Cloud has a history of being like $40 to $50. Let's see, are they selling that one today? Silver Lining, Quiet Shade, maybe not, no worries. The Silver Cloud Navy, Quiet Shade right there. A lot of these are like 40 bucks. We did have the Navy though, right? Let's see, our Navy's 25 bucks. Okay, so this is not going to meet that rule where I want to sell it for like double what I'm buying it, because this is 40 over here. We're sourcing it for 25. Let's see, a bunch of Silver Cloud, maybe not, probably yelling at me there. 38 Navy, that does have a decent history of being profitable. Let's see, Dark Navy 38 is in stock, and we're buying it for 25 right now. It is going for like $56. So if we're selling this for 56 and buying for 25, that would be profitable. It doesn't have a great history of being that expensive. Like usually it's closer to $36 to $40, which we break even. So this is kind of like a risk reward. Like right now we make 15 bucks. Our worst case scenario, it goes back to 36 and we lose $1. You can figure out if that's worth it for your business. That might be one of those where I grab it if I have plenty of money to spend and I just need to get the ball rolling, get some products selling, that kind of thing. But if I'm at the point in my business where cash is limited and I have lots of product leads to go buy, and that's where you'll end up usually after a month or two, understanding product sourcing, practicing it every day, that kind of thing. And this probably would be a skip for me. A more borderline item there, but definitely an interesting one, and really just demonstrates how much opportunity there is in all these different brands and all these different opportunities. It just comes into jumping into one of them. And honestly, finding profitable products is the hardest part part of the business, but if you're not careful, it can be really time consuming to actually make FBA shipments so you can get these products actually shipped off to Amazon. So that's where you want the last software that you get as a new Amazon seller, which is Boxom. You can get a 2-week free trial down below, and it basically replaces all like crazy Google Sheets and that kind of stuff. So it tracks all your profit for you. And then it also makes creating shipments really fast and really simple. You guys can see a full shipment creation guide on the channel, but a couple of major reasons you want to use it is for things like 2D barcodes, which go on the labels automatically that Boxom generates for you. And for me in my business, I'm able to make sales a couple days faster as a result of using Boxom 2D barcodes. And you actually can't get that at all if you're shipping through Amazon. You're also able to store all of the important analytics data. So what did I pay for it? Where did I buy it? What day did I buy it? So you're able to analyze and restock things a lot smoother than just kind of like randomly scrolling through products on Seller Central. But in order to actually start making a shipment out of these products, you'll end up just punching in the title, ASIN, UPC of the products you're actually sourcing. So this is an example of a product I found the other day at my retail store. Just add it to a batch, add how much you sourced, store that supplier if you want to have that data stored in your Amazon account, store that supplier as well if you want to have that data stored in your Boxom account so you can know what's making you money, what's not making you a bunch of money. Go ahead and add that to shipment. And then Boxom walks you through an easy kind of step-by-step process of costing about 60 cents a pound to ship off to Amazon. And then after you do the shipment creation process, Amazon will check those products in and start sending them to your customers for you automatically. So if you're serious about starting to make money on Amazon for yourself, make sure you grab 2-week free trials of SellerAmp and Boxom down below so you can start sourcing and shipping out that profit. Also, let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop those down below. Hit the subscribe button while you're down there if you want to help me out for free. And if you want to see the next step of the process where I'll show you every last detail of making an FBA shipment, click this video right here.